right, everyone. Happy 30th anniversary to our fearless leader, the most professional woman in this place.
That is
Brenda Braxton celebrating 30 years.
That's amazing.
On Sunrise today.
It's been quite an emotional morning.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew my anniversary was coming up. I was going to post a little something on Facebook. I had no idea that you guys had planned the big ta-da.
Oh, yeah.
And when you kind of, my executive producer,
Hi, Facebook. Thanks for joining us. We've already started on Instagram.
Yeah.
We are talking about Brenda Braxton's 30th anniversary today here on KGW, and she looks fabulous. We've been looking through all of the shows from over the years, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, all the hairstyles, all the shoulder pads.
Yes. Oh my gosh, so many
so many blazers.
Yes.
And
so many hot
You
rollers.
have never looked better, I swear.
Oh, well, thank you.
I mean, you have just aged fabulously, and a lot of people grew up watching you. How was it to kind of hear some of the comments and stuff?
You know what, I said I had to put myself in a bubble during the show because when I found out, I got an inkling that this was happening. I just felt really emotional. And seeing, little Brenda, I was 25 when I started here at KGW, and I was like, wow, I looked at that face and I looked at where that girl was and how excited she was to come here. And whew, just the emotion came. Even when I think about it now, I go right back to it. That was me in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. That was my very first job.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
How old were you here?
I started in Baton Rouge at 23.
23.
Right.
And then started here when you were 25. And you said, you grew up here.
I
mean,
did.
At 25.
I grew up on the air. I mean, think about that, 30 years.
Is that
when
Tammy
I came
Faye
here,
Baker that you were interviewing?
Yes.
Holy moly.
Yes, I vaguely remember that. It was so long ago. But think about that. I mean, 30 years. Think of what that is a lifetime. I was single when I started, so I got married on the air. I had 2 kids, and I was an anchor. I lost both my parents, over that time. I got divorced over that time. I found new love over that time. I mean, it was it's amazing when I think back of if that girl with the big hair had ever known all that was ahead of her. I feel so grateful. I mean, it's been ups and downs, but that's what life is about. You roll with it, and I have been blessed to be able to do what I love, what I truly love, which is writing and telling stories for this long.
And you guys, as you're watching, obviously Brenda can see your comments. Send us some memories, send us some well wishes, for her. 30 years, 30 more years, people are asking for.
And people are already commenting, have really enjoyed
too many.
Brenda. It was so funny because Brenda was so uncomfortable. Like Nina said, she was so uncomfortable because the spotlight was kind of on you this morning, and you're just so not used to that. And I was just like, don't worry, it's just once every 30 years.
That was the line of the morning.
So it's okay.
But I mean, that is that I've trained to do, is to ask the questions and to have it be about somebody else. So when I got the inkling from my executive producer that there was a surprise that something was happening, I immediately wanted to run away. I was just like, oh my God, no. And then I thought, I need to be present and enjoy this and not try to, I just need to be in that experience. That is not my nature, though. It's like to step back and not be in that. Isn't that weird?
It's funny,
I'm
though.
on TV, but it's not
People
to be in
would
the
say you're on
spotlight.
TV, but it's not
different.
the same.
It's different.
It is just so rare for, I mean, you know how subjective this business is, and you've told some stories, of your hair isn't right, or, they want you to look a certain way, or, oh, you're getting up there, and we're going to get another 20-some-year-old and pair her with a 50-year-old guy, I mean, that's how it's always been.
Yes.
And so to see, a female mentor, in this business that I always wanted to be in, be here this long and be so great and get better is just so cool.
It's inspiring.
It really is,
You are paired with an older guy, by the way.
I
I guess that's me.
Just a year older, though, not too much. But that's true. I mean, and that's kind of, I feel like I'm on a one-woman campaign. I know there are a lot of you out there, but I really do. I want to change the way I speak about middle age and the way people talk about middle age, especially if they internalize it. It's one thing to kind of joke about it, but that is a great part of life. There are some ups and downs, but I feel like sharing stories about that time of life is super important. And like I posted on my Facebook page, I feel like the best is yet to come. I feel feistier, I feel sharper, I feel as good as I ever have, you know, about life in general. And so, you know, I feel like I'm also a little bit of a rabble rouser, especially when I look at young women in this business. I'm like, you know what, you kick ass.
You go do that.
Do this. You don't let somebody tell you not to, or, you know, you earn what you have. And so I love that part of what I do. I love seeing other people come through.
Are you saying you're going to increase your feistiness? Did I interpret this correctly? Wow.
You're not going to be able to take it, Ron.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we have some great looks back at the clothes, the hair, the everything that was KGW at Sunrise back in the 80s. Okay, watch this. I think, right?
Good morning, Brenda. I wish I could be there today to celebrate your big day, but as you can tell, I'm a little busy. Anyways, I just want to tell you how happy I am and congratulations to you on 30 remarkable years here at KGW. You know, you've made an impact on so many people, and so we put together a little video of a lot of people who also want to wish you congratulations. Enjoy.
Some sobering statistics for you. Police say this Circle K store on Plank Road was to be McRae's last hold-up attempt. Residents here admit this isn't the first time they've had a run-in with an arsonist. Even with a few dissenting voices, this budget is expected to be passed here at the Tangipahoa Parish Courthouse next Monday. I anchor the Sunrise Show here at News Channel 8.
And there she is. Queen Amidala, starring Brenda Braxton, with all those different hairdos, all those different costumes. Look! Look!
Hey Brenda, it's me, Governor Roberts, talking to my favorite reporter.
Hey Miles, can you say congratulations on 30 years at KGW, Brenda Braxton? No?
Oh, hello, Brenda, Carl Click.
With Brenda Braxton and Carl Click.
You taught me so much about being a good professional news anchor. I can't thank you enough, and you know, I love you.
Because of you, I will never again mess up there, you, your, it's.
It was nice to be able to give something to someone that they really wanted.
Greetings from the University of Portland, where I have worked since leaving KGW in 2007. But more importantly, UP is Brenda Braxton's alma mater. Her journalism career started right here.
Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Hey Brenda, it's me, Poison Waters, your sister from another mister. Congratulations, and my goodness gracious, 30 years at KGW. What a joy.
She is the only reporter in the history of Oregon, or maybe nationally, who has ever caused me to be bleeped on television.
It's 6:50, it's 5:52, I'm all screwed up now.
I worked with you for 28 of your 30 years at KGW. I have a lot of stories about you, but I'm worried you have a lot of stories about me.
I'll have the 2-egg scrambled free range from McMinnville.
For being one of McMinnville's most cherished daughters who has lived a life with purpose, intent, and selflessness. Now, therefore, I, Scott A. Hill, Mayor of the City of McMinnville, do hereby proclaim August 21st, 2019 as Brenda Braxton Day.
The toast of the town, the toast of Channel 8. Here's to you, 30 wonderful years.
Wait a minute. Come on over closer, closer. Okay, here we go.
Amazing. And so this is my proclamation.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
right
mean,
here.
come on. Are you kidding me? I grew up in McMinnville. I moved there when I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
My mom was a Hood River girl, so we came back from California, and thank you, McMinnville.
I have time on my schedule today. I would like to go with you to McMinnville. I want you to carry this around. We're going to walk into coffee shops, and I want to see if they'll give you like a free cup of coffee if you just walk in holding this.
Oh, you better do it.
That would be so much fun.
Yeah, haha. I thought you were bucking for more than coffee. You wanted some wine.
I want to ride your coattails.
I can't believe there's no wine on this table right now. I mean, it's not Brenda Braxton Day without wine.
I know it's a big day when my health-conscious friend says she will eat
Let's cut the cake, guys.
I was like, I'm eating cake today. It is Brenda's 30th anniversary.
Love that.
Oh, this is such a pretty cake too. And I hope, did Facebook see it? I know we got on Facebook a little late.
So Brenda, I know it's not, I mean, this is not your retirement. You're going to, everybody's wanting you to stick around for 30 more years for Brenda.
A happy anniversary
let's
today.
call it your midway point. Is that fair? Your midway point.
At 15?
So tell me, what is your, I don't know, give me a cherished moment of your career. I know it's the people, but as far as the actual work that you've done, is there a cherished moment that just pops into your head, something you're really proud of? Maybe a story?
Oh my gosh, I've met so many people over the years.
Super memorable, something?
Yeah, no, there have been a lot. I mean, I remember a couple things when I met, I can't even get this out. Wait, I can't talk.
You got it. You got it.
That's your favorite cake, we're told.
I love
yellow
all cake.
I love chocolate frosting.
All right, you have to go
Okay, here,
next. I'll give
that's
this to you.
yours. That one's yours.
Somebody's wishing you a happy birthday on Facebook.
We'll take that too.
Happy birthday.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I think when I got a surprise interview with the first President Bush was kind of cool.
A surprise, so he was just coming to Portland, and
this was earlier in Baton Rouge, and his Air Force One pulled into the tarmac. Nobody thought he was going to come over, and he did.
Oh,
that was kind of fun.
Wow.
I don't know, just I guess there are a lot of big things. I honestly didn't remember that I interviewed Tammy Faye Baker. That was so long ago. With all the craziness, being in Baton Rouge too, lots of the televangelists got into trouble, so we interviewed a lot of them.
That's kind of
but I think more than any of the big stories, it is just the people that I meet. You know, those are the ones who have been, I wish everybody could feel that. And I do feel like we should try and pay it forward, because when I go out into the community, I feel like I have a friend everywhere I go, because people are like, hey Brenda, hi.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you get that as well. You know that. You feel that just somebody giving you grace.
Braxton, that's what I get.
But I think that we should all connect like that. You know, it's like literally people hug me sometimes when I go out in the grocery store.
Sweet.
Do you try and like hide with a hat or something sometimes, or it's?
I don't. I mean, and sometimes I'm just surprised at how people recognize me. If I have a ball cap on, or if I have no makeup on, and they still. Yeah. And my daughter keeps saying, Mom, you have a very distinct look. So you have a voice, and so you can't hide. You
I walk into the Fred Meyer down at the stadium, and they're like, and they just start talking to me about Brenda Braxton.
Yeah, same thing happens to me.
You hang out with Brenda Braxton.
It's almost annoying, isn't it, Chris?
It's almost annoying.
You know, think about it.
Good. Oh, that's huge.
But I
know, that's for Rod.
That can be annoying about.
There you go. You're so funny. Oh, I don't know, but gosh.
I am just so bummed that like Drew and Ashley.
I know
they just happened to be on vacation this whole week.
Yeah.
Long plan to go.
They did a lot of work.
They did a lot of work. Drew went out and
did
did such a cute little segment. He carried Brenda's like headshot picture
her
around
picture
downtown
around.
Portland, and just said, "Do you know this woman?" And every single person.
She is always comes across as very kind, professional.
So yeah, he was showing the pictures to everybody, and people were just kind of sharing their memories of growing up. A lot of stories of like people who were homesick or home pregnant and watching the news in the morning, watching the news at noon.
I do feel like we've had some monumental stories happen here. You know, one actually that is memorable. It's kind of crazy. I mean, it ended up okay, but the big helicopter crash, the Black Hawk that went down at Mount Hood.
Wow.
Pat Doris was in Sky 8, and Russ Lewis and I were on the air, and that was surreal to watch that chopper go down. I mean, in the flood of 1996.
So you were here for that, yeah.
Yeah, so Tracy Berry was anchoring. I think it was Jim Beneman was her co-anchor at the time, and we were out chasing, you know, all these different communities and flood stories, and, you know, the spring break quake. I was big and pregnant at the time, and was that it? Yes, I think it was the spring break quake in '93 when I was pregnant at the time, and so that was crazy. I was like, oh my gosh, it almost sent me into labor. It was like shaking around. It's like all kinds of things. Yeah, it's wild to think. I almost feel like my mind is a blank. Like it's been such a, I didn't expect all this, and so, you know, you have that moment where you're like, I really can't say anything. I don't even know.
Yeah, you're like speechless for the first time.
I know. that doesn't happen very often.
I mean, that's what she said.
I'm usually not speechless, but yeah, I'm just like, whew, I'm gonna have to take a moment. I want to go back and read all the comments, and
there are actually a lot of comments since we've started.
Why did our director Brian just asked a great question? Like, how did you know? What make you kept re-signing here and like renewing your contract and wanting to know? I mean, this is home for you, just like it's home for me.
That's so funny. He goes, "At what point was it your forever?"
Yeah.
And you know what? I think I'd never thought of it as my forever. I mean, I always knew, because like you said, I mean, this is a weird business. Some bosses love you, some bosses don't. And like, I've been 30 years here, kind of on a 3-year contract cycle. So you renegotiate every 3 years. But I knew that Portland, I wanted that to be my home because my parents were here, my kids were here, and I didn't want to uproot them. You know, I remember being here maybe 6 months. I got a call from a news director in Minneapolis, and they're like, you know, we'd like to, you know, interview you about this job, or there was something in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and I'm like, I don't want to leave.
But Minneapolis, if you don't know, on paper, that's a much bigger job than Portland.
Yeah, it is.
Just a bigger TV.
And I do remember when my daughter was 2, and my then boss called me in and said, we would like you to do swing. We'd like you to do the 11 and the 6, I think is what it was. And Jaden was 2, that would have been, Zach was 7. And I thought, wow, that's a big promotion and a big opportunity. And so I thought about it, and I called, I'm gonna get emotional. I called my mom. I'm sorry. And I told her about the job, and she said, you know, I know you'll make the right decision, but what I can tell you is you will never regret choosing your children. And I knew at that time that if I worked swing, I would take Zach to school as a little one, and then I would go into work before he got out of class, and I wouldn't see him again until the next day. And so a lot of people are like, oh, that's great, you know, you really, you know, were there for your children. I think, yeah, I want to be, but I think I needed them probably even more than they needed me. So there were opportunities to go other places and do other things and do other shifts, but for my children and for my life and for my happiness, that's when I realized it was my forever, you know? And I still, it just means so much. It's like you can never get that time back. And so I sacrificed sleep over the years, but it just was, it was the right thing for my family and for me. And I've been blessed and grateful. I'm just filled with gratitude for that.
Wow, so how many years have you been tired now? What was that? How long was that?
30 years.
But seriously, this shift is hard.
Yeah, it's not in
your body.
It's not an easy shift.
I mean, it is brutal, you know, and to do it for this long and for as many years as, I mean. When
did the news start? Was it 5 a.m. when you started?
Oh, that's a funny story.
When did it start?
Okay, so back in 1989 when I started, okay, so this is what happened. So I came up here on vacation, and back then we had resume tapes, and I went to Channel 2, Channel 6, and Channel 8, and I talked to each of their news directors, and I was looking for a job. I'm just here visiting my parents on vacation, so doing a little, you know, double duty. And I told the news director at Channel 2 told me that they were starting a brand new hour-long newscast, and at that time it was only a half an hour everywhere.
Those were the good old days, by the way.
Those were the good old, right? Not a 2.5-hour show, it was a half-an-hour show. And so I went to 2, and then by the time I came here, I dropped that little piece of knowledge on Channel 8's news director.
This is your fault?
Yes.
More than 30 minutes long?
And he was very interested to know that little bit of competitive, you know, but I had no loyalty
got some
to any
leverage.
of them. And so he ended up hiring me almost on the spot. Before I left for vacation, I had a job offer, and I moved from Baton Rouge 30 days later here to KGW, and we went on the air with a new hour-long program from 6 to 7.
It was brand new.
Yeah. It was brand new.
Wow.
So this is Brenda Braxton's show.
Oh, yeah.
Make no mistake about it. This is her show.
But you can blame me for the expansion, because they wanted to beat Channel 2. Yeah. They wanted to beat Channel 2 on the air with, you know, I don't even remember who the news director was at Channel 2 at that time.
Oh, yeah.
But Phil Wenstrand was the guy who hired me.
Wow, and that is unheard of to do like a cold call interview. You must have killed that anchor audition.
Well, you know what else they did is he popped in my resume tape and he watched it in front of me.
In front of me, that's awkward.
Never. For the first time. He just popped it in and watched it, and then he took me upstairs to meet the general manager.
I would have said, I would have gone to the restroom or something.
Like,
I wouldn't have wanted to be there at that exact moment.
I know, I was sitting in his office, sitting in that
nothing more awkward than watching yourself do your profession on television, right? Yeah.
And then I went home. Well, and there was no cell phone back then, so I must have been somewhere with a landline, and I called my mom and I said, I think the interview went well.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, she goes, you know, the news director just called here and he wanted to talk, he wanted to talk to you, so you're supposed to call him tomorrow morning, and it was a Saturday morning.
Wow.
And I was like,
pulse quicken, heart rate quicken a little bit.
Yeah, and Saturday morning he offered me a job.
Wow.
And I, at 20, well, when did I?
25?
Yeah, so yes, because I was in Baton Rouge. I knew enough to say, I will accept your offer, but not until I have it in writing. I'm not going to quit my job in Baton Rouge. When I have it in black and white, then we're good to go.
Do you still have a copy of that tape at home somewhere? Do you know your resume tape that?
I think I do.
You
know, when I was looking, I posted a picture on Facebook of the first team with Jim Finnerty and Dave Solesky and me. And as I was going through, in the garage, packed away are boxes of 3/4-inch tapes.
Yeah.
So I think my resume tape
digitized.
is. I know I do. I really do.
It would be fun to look back on.
Yeah.
And if, in case you guys are just tuning in, because I've gotten some questions on Instagram, Brenda is not leaving. We are just celebrating today. Is her 30th anniversary here at KGW. So we're just celebrating her. It's all happy. She is going nowhere. We want to read some of the comments that people have been chiming in. Elisa on Facebook says, you are so deserving. I noticed somebody said that you taught them the difference between the variations of your, their, and its. Could you please branch that out to the public? Congratulations, Brenda. This is from Don Cheney on Facebook. Thanks for watching, Don. I moved to Portland 3.5 years ago. I look forward to seeing you and the rest of the team every weekday morning. Jamie wants to know, who did you interview that you were so excited to see become successful?
Oh,
that's a hard question.
That's a super hard question. I'd have to give that some thought, because a lot of the people that we interview are already famous or already well known.
Yeah, we were talking about this because, I mean, we've had people who were saying they were clerks at Meyer and Frank before it became Macy's, who met you or saw you across the store like 20 years ago or 30 years ago when you first started, and remember that moment. And, you know, I mean, that's why we were talking about, like, you have to be so kind to everyone you meet, because they just see that one moment in time, you know, whether you're going through a bad day or whatever, but you have been amazing. So Jesse says, I remember meeting Brenda at an Alzheimer's walk maybe 13 years ago, and Brenda, you were so kind and stopped to talk with me and take a picture. It was so fun. I'm thankful for your spot on KGW. It wouldn't be the same without you.
So many people weighing in, and somebody even saying, hey, I figured it would be her 30th birthday today.
Lie to me.
Yes.
But yes, thank you so much. I mean, everybody, for all the good wishes, and everybody on Facebook, and for you guys. I feel really blessed. I mean,
haven't times changed with this live stream business?
Okay, Rod's going to read the parade now. Wait. Here comes.
One more time. Cry.
I think I finally pulled it together. But I think I'm going to be okay. I'm going to go, and I'm just going to kind of sit, and I'm going to read the comments.
Good. Well, we salute you, lady, with a bite of cake.
Yes.
Thank you for watching.
I will
we'll see you
cheers
guys
to that.
tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.